Hello, Derek. This is Richard from Gaslamp Village Media, and we're just going to go through our web project that we have here for NordstromDental in Wainwright. So I'm not going to hit every line. I'm going to go through some of the more important things. So please do not think of this as a final be-all and end-all. I do require you to read this through on your own. So as we start. So the web project for NordstromDental in Wainwright. We're just some good fuzzy stuff at the beginning there from Dave. He keeps us all in line down here. And then from your conversation that we had where we started, your problem statements. So your current site is old, it's non-responsive, and it's dated. Now your content is old as well. However, you're taking care of the content and you're going to streamline it. As well, you're providing us the photos. So that is key. As well, this site, we are putting in a CMS, which is a content management system. What this will allow you to do is for you to be able to go in and change certain aspects of your site that we agree on. So we're not going to let you open up the whole site. That's a lot more in development cost. We're going to just close it down a bit, but open up what you need to access very easily and quickly. So that's our problem, and that's what we're going to solve for you. Now, our proposed solution is build a site that's new content, new photos, and the service area and description and text are just a little bit more updated. And from there, we want, if you can, in the future, we want you to pay attention to the SEO techniques. Just find your keywords that are going to help you very easily provide the internet an easy resource to read your website so that you can talk to your patients and your clients to them through the search terms that they're looking for. So that's very important. However, you might find that in your smaller area and your region of operation that it may not be such a huge focus. However, it should be something you always pay attention to. Okay. As we get on down here, so we have the content development and site planning, installation, configuration and build, the content edition, and we're going to hone that stuff. And then at the end, we got the optimization, the testing, and the deployment. So those are generally the 4 stages that we're going through. As we're right now, we're not in those phases. We are prior to that. So one of the main things we want to look at is the functionality of your website, giving you the ability to change what you need to, and to go from there. So we start that with the planning and wireframing, which is the mock-up that we've done. And from here, this is very important because this follows the project all the way along, and we constantly look back as a resource. So below that, we have content development. Now, you see here it is for the client. So you've said that you're going to take care of this. Now, Derek, one of the things that we have on most of their websites when clients do not include their own content, generally we outsource to a content strategist. That is about $1,500. So I'll have to give you a clap there. You saved $1,500 by doing that work yourself, and that definitely helps us bring the project into your budget, and we'll continue on from there. So site build and development. Now this is the meat and potatoes of your site, the main engine, how it's going to work. And from there, we'll continue on. So we do have what's a juicer. It's an online app. It does put your social media feed up on your web page. That way you can be connected through social media and your web page. Now this happens automatically through an API. It is very easy to put in. The app is free. It's just a little bit of coding after there. And that's easy enough. If you want to go ahead with that, that's something we generally do, just kind of like an added-on service. So as we continue on, static pages, we have about 7 static pages included. So normally we do 5. I do believe we're going just a little bit more here. So we're talking home, about, services, facts, forms, orthodontics, and a contact form. So from here, if that needs to change, we can always look at that. Now our dynamic content, this is the stuff that we're going to allow you to change on the fly. We're going to design this and build it this way for easy updates. Now, what it also allows us to do is by utilizing the CMS from the start. Later on, other work that you may require Gaslamp Village Media to do for you, it's going to be much easier for us. And generally, we're going to be able to fit it down into our 15-minute blocks that we offer as a tech service. So, you know, it might not always work that way, but that's the way we plan it. It's to make it efficient and to help lower the long-term maintenance costs of your website. And that's why the dynamic content is there. It's for the coding to make that happen. So our forms, so what we have here is no contact form is desired. So we're going to leave this out. That's as per your request. So that is one way as well that we're able to bring down the cost on this site. So we have the final deployment of the site. Now, a lot of people, they always ask, like, why can't I just put it in? Why can't I just start? What is all this final deployment? What this is, Dave and Scott both go through your website line for line, and they work out all the bugs. This could be more than one browser. It could be more than one screen size, more than one phone, like whether it's an Android or an Apple. So it's very robust, and this helps us get you a completed website when we deliver it to you. So that's very important because it's the bugs afterwards, after the website. If we don't catch them and it's a little bit too long after, unfortunately, that's going to be past our scope of the project. So that is why we keep that in there. We're going to work really hard that we deliver the final project to you. Now, getting into some of the add-ons, some of like where does the cost come from? We have the content management system, the CMS. Now, again, this is very much easily to make it for you to manipulate the content on your website, and as well for us, should you need work done in the future, which generally it pretty much always happens, and it's just one way for us to make it easier so we can fit that work in those content in those 15-minute blocks. So the SEO, or search engine optimization. Now, our cost from this afterwards, if you choose, if you find the market's kind of tight or you want to expand a little bit, it varies per number of desired keywords. So this does take a little bit of work to narrow down the keywords that you need to be searched for, and not only just those words, but how clients will search for your product. So it may not always be how you're thinking. So from there, we're gonna just skip down to graphic design. So one of the add-ons we have that's new to us as we start is going to be unlimited design. So depending on how much you market and your social media, it'll depend on really what value you see in the graphic design. One of the benefits is the quick turnaround. Generally, we got about a 72-hour turnaround, and from then us to the client, it's about 84 to 96 hours, so about 4 days. Generally, that is just because of it gets lost in someone's email box and it takes them an extra day to return it. That's all it really comes down to. And that one, it does have, we try to keep the revisions down to 3 if we can. We can do more, but if we can nail it down in 3, we tend to have a very good product. If we're going to nitpick and constantly change, essentially the value of your product is going to diminish, because the graphic design, the more honed in you are, the more graphic design we can push through in a month. So that's important. If it's 3 days, we could be looking between 7 to 10 products in a month. Now, if it's going to take a week, we could be down to 4 or less. So very important. So as we move on, now our premium email service, I do not believe we talk so much about this, but it's $5 per month per email address. One of the benefits about this is the branding and how it's linked to your domain name instead of being a Gmail or a Yahoo address. So that's basically some of the main stuff there. As we move down and we go into content, now again, I'm not going to read everything here. This will be up to you. Now, we do have content blocks and stock photos and pricing here and kind of how we do that. Now, you do want to supply your own content, as you stated. This would be for down the road if you're not looking to do the work yourself. So a quick word about the self-editing content. This is very important. Please take a chance to read this. This will clear up a couple things, and it'll also show you the parameters and limitations of what we set for you basically as a way to make sure to the best we can that we're not going to allow you an inroad to essentially change code or break the website. So as we move on there, again, our additional service add-ons. So we do e-commerce, additional pages. We have a lady that we do for photographic services. We also offer stock photography and a monthly consultation. From here, these are all things that we can work on later, maybe as a service level agreement if that so comes about. So our search engine optimization, again, great to read. And then from here, I'll skip along. So we got the project summary and the price breakdown. So where we're at, Derek, we're at a subtotal of about $4,400. And we have the GST, it works out to be $4,620. From here, generally, we would have hosting. You already have hosting with a current website, so that is not so much a big deal. That's already being paid for, and it's included elsewhere. So as we move on, we do have a project suspension policy. I will need you to sign this and date this. However, what I will note is that with your content already supplied to us, it would be very hard for this to ever enact. So we should be good there, but I just need you to acknowledge that it's there and sign and date, please. So as we come down to additional information, so Derek, one of the big things we did, using cost as the parameter to keep everything in line, we went through to a template. This allows us to bring down the cost of development, and it also allows us for a quicker turnaround. As you noticed, we were able to share a couple designs prior to even getting to this point, where there's a lot less communication. We've already decided on what we're going to go, and now we're on to the next part. So that was the benefit of the template. It really helps us, and it's one of the best ways to save money, and you get a great website design. So it's not really, you're not taking a hit there at all. So we do ask, why a blog? Now, blogging is a good way to connect to your customers. Now, I don't believe your clientele may be really receptive to blogging.